achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. I am Dr. Judy, your radio host. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in to another live broadcast with the Real Talk with Judy show. I want to thank you for tuning in to what I know to be the number one talk show for stretching, empowering, inspiring, motivating, and building leaders and people up and coming leaders to excel in their leadership in every area of their life, and to help them to be just a better person, enhancing and making things happen big in their life. My sisters and brothers, this is one thing you have to see it yourself successfully leading. See yourself successfully leading, or you never will see it. Okay, you have to see it happening, or it never will happen. Again, I am Dr. Judy Mandrell, the people architect, and I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. I want to say this, for those of you who were able to make it to our district meeting last week, we had an explosive time. Church partner packed every night. It was fantastic. A power of God moved so. And it was great, man. It was great. It was 1 week of powerful singing, powerful worship. The word was good. And can you believe it? 2 nights we got out almost 11 o'clock. It was fantastic. I mean, the people didn't go. The Lord blessed. The word was absolutely phenomenal. And I want to thank my husband, Superintendent Gerald Mandrell, for leading us into such a great time, a great time with our district meeting. And so many of you from the community came out. I want to thank you. I must say this. Thank you to the ladies who showed up Thursday night for Women Night. My goodness, it was so many ladies there. And I thank you all so very much. I know we had a lot going on in the city and someone to be there, but they had some very important things that they had to do. I want you to know, I know your heart. I know your heart. And I thank you so very much. It was fantastic. I was like, the women just gonna keep on coming. And then Friday night, the men showed up. And for my husband, Bishop Delta Chambers, Bishop Lorenzo Watkins, Pastor Quentin Ford, Pastor Elder Thaddeus Bruce, and so many more. You all came out, and I want to say thank you so very much on behalf of my husband and the Kingdom Builder District. We thank you for the love that you all showed for us. It was fantastic. And we know that God is doing something major in our city, and we are thankful unto him for his goodness. So I want to thank you for tuning in this beautiful Tuesday morning here in Tallahassee, Florida. Whether you're tuning in via radio, Hallelujah 95.3, Facebook Live, YouTube, or you're on I said radio there, or the Hallelujah app. I want to say thank you, and to all of you outside of Tallahassee, thank you all so very much. We know that we had Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole on last week, and I want y'all to get ready, man. I got some great guests lined up. Hear me, our presiding bishop, Bishop Antoine White, Bishop Golden, Bishop Dillard, so many of our Bishop Elijah Hankerson, our general board member, and just so many people who we are preparing to bring on. We are thankful unto God for just the favor that he has granted unto us and what he is doing. So while I greet my mama, I would like for you all to go ahead and tag, email, text, do whatever you have to do to get others on, because today I'm going to talk about a group that's very dear to my heart, a group that's very dear to my heart. And you already know what that is, but I'll come back and say it in just a few minutes. But right now, I want to say hello to my mama, Mother Dr. Irma Hunter Wesley. I had someone to say, your mama was phenomenal. Did she really do all of that? Listen, my mom was a gem of a teacher to her children. I ain't making up now lie about what she does. Her records speak for herself throughout the city, throughout the church. My mom was she's all eyes. She was an epitome of an example of everything, love, everything, forgiveness, how to walk regardless. And I just want to say I thank God for it. She's 85 years old and she still is here. She have some good days and then she have challenging days. All the days are good, but she have some challenging days. And I want to thank you all for the love that y'all give to my mom, the prayers that y'all show, the continual texts and asking how she's doing. If I see you in the store or some of you Facebook me, that means a whole lot to me, that you would take time to ask how my mom is doing, even in our national convention. That means a whole lot to me. And her living hadn't been in vain. She does what she does. Okay. She is the reason I am who I am. She still is my trusted advisor. I don't talk to a lot of people about problems or nothing. I really don't. Because people have so many ulterior motive and they will take you straight out of your whatever. I'm gonna get into that when I tell you what my daddy said. All right. So thank God so very much for y'all praying for my mom. Hey, mama. Hey, Tanya, thank you for being on. Thank you, Sister Brenda Howard, for your getting people on. And y'all join her, text and invite, tag and share, text, get people on. And I thank everybody near and far for coming on. To my awesome and amazing husband, Superintendent Gerald Mandrell, the senior pastor of Life Changer. Here's the reason I get to do what I do. He is an amazing leader. And to just hear the accolades from so many men in our church, his sons, you got to be careful when people call you mom and spiritual dad. You got to weigh that lightly. Y'all better hear me. You better get to know and know what that really means. All right. But he is an awesome leader and an absolute awesome husband, almost 43 years. And someone asked us, how do we make it this far? We make it with the Lord, and then we respect each other, right? We're different. We don't argue. We don't fuss. We don't get it. We share what we feel, our perspective, and we respect it. It don't mean, you got to understand your way ain't always the right way, or there's more ways to see something. All right. But here we are almost 43 years later. And we love each other and we thank God for it. I want to say thank God to Priscilla and her amazing staff. She is the amazing production leader of the marketing director of Real Talk with Judy. And I want to thank her so very much. She helps me deliver an award-winning show. And I want to thank her for every flyer, everything she does. Thank God so very much for her. Again, to you, the greatest audience ever that keeps me coming back with enthusiasm about your success. Thank you. We're getting ready to get into the show, and I've decided to not have a guest. I have been blessed beyond measures. Number one, to have an amazing father. My father was absolutely fantastic. And then the Lord put my husband, father, into my life, Mr. Mandrell. Absolutely fantastic. And my dad was always present. And then when I married, my father and father-in-law came in, always present. I call him Daddy Mac. His name was Mac Mandrell. I call him Daddy Mac. And my father and my husband's father was so similar, so many ways that it made it easy just to love him as a wonderful father that he was. I want to talk today about the gift of a father from Judy Mandrell perspective, the gift of a father. And I want to say Happy Father's Day early because it's next Sunday. I'm going to tell you what I really wish I can do. I really wish that every father, I could have a big citywide celebration next Sunday. I really wish that was what I could do, just to celebrate you as a father, just to celebrate you. And I know that we're gonna have a lot of people saying we're celebrating our moms because they're playing dual role. Well, today I'm celebrating all men fathers. All right, I'm celebrating the gift of a father, and I'm excited about celebrating you all. I really am, because if there was no fathers, there would be no children, right? Because the father carried the sperm, and the mother carried the sperm as it formed into a human being. But I want to say I am excited to celebrate the gifts of father. Biological fathers are very important. And we know that we have a lot of biological fathers who no longer is a part of their child life for whatever reason, they're no longer there. But if it was not for biological fathers, you wouldn't be here. So I do celebrate biological fathers. Then we have step-in fathers. Those are the fathers that have stepped in and have taken the role now being dad or pops or whatever you call them. You're there. They're forever present in that child's life. And a step-in father, it comes a lot of time because now they have married the child's mother. They have married the child's mother, or now they're taking that role as father because of being involved with the mom. But that step in father, if that man steps in and treat that child like it is his, that's a step in father. And we have many good men who have stepped in and become fathers, become dad. They have become dad to those children. They take them as their own, like they have birthed them. My husband and I have a few children that we have not birthed, that we consider our sons and daughters. And they even have told us that we treat them as if we birthed them, because God would give you children that you did not birth, and they will become so dear to your heart that it's as if you birthed them, right? And so God would give you that. So we have step-in fathers, we have grandfathers, godfathers, like a father. We have spiritual fathers, mentor fathers, uncle fathers, brother fathers, and the more, right? Because we have some men who have come to play the part of that male figure, but it's a father figure. It's a that they become protectors. They become protectors. They become providers. They are strong. They are strong, and they give you that male influence from a male perspective in life. Even for girls, we have to have strong men who will step in as that father figure if their father isn't there. And if their father is there and they have a strong pastor or some other men as well who become part of that. My husband did a dedication of a baby today, and he said that the godparents must have the same heart as the parents, must have the same heart as that parent. That means that the godparents are willing to sacrifice their life if that's the parent's desire, if that's the parent mind as well. You don't want to just get anybody to be the godparent, but you want people with the same heart as yours toward your child from birth throughout their life, throughout their life. And we have some of our godchildren, we have the pleasure of influencing their lives even to this day, even to this day. And so the father, they raised the children to think strong. They raised the children to be strong, to be courageous, to learn how to handle fear. And I'm talking from the perspective of me and my siblings and our father. Our father was, oh man, he was one of the greatest men we know. He was the right father for all six of us. He was the right father for all six of us. And our father passed April the 29th, 2013. April the 29th, 2013, 11 years ago. And God knows we miss him. We miss him dearly. But he taught us so many principles. He taught us so much. He was there. He spoke to us. He spent time with us. Even though he was the first black sheriff for Broward County Sheriff Department. But you know what? My dad always, and y'all heard me talk about my mom. So today is Father's Day, and I want to talk about some of the things that made us such wonderful children. My dad was always present. He was always present. But one of the things that my dad did, and I want to talk about, he spent time with every last one of us. Every last one of us he spent time with individually. All right. He knew all of us was different, but he spent time with us individually. He spoke life into us. And when I say spend time with us, y'all, he would sit, we have cell phones and stuff back then. So we was able to sit down uninterrupted, and he would speak life into us. And he always told me, Judy, you have the gift of faith. He told all of us that love God. He taught us that to love God. My mom really got into it, teaching us about our relationship with God and going after God. And our dad really spent that time as well. He taught us to love our families. And I believe that's what fathers begin to do. They teach you how to love your family because they love their family. My dad told us that our siblings are our best friends. And to this day right here, my brother, I'm 65. My brother will be 70 years old this year. The Lord spares life. And then I have all these sisters, but we love each other. And guess what? We did it as a child. From childhood, they taught us to love each other. They taught us to support one another. They made us family. They taught us the essence of family. My dad, he taught us the importance of siblings loving each other. There is nothing we won't do for each other. When I say nothing, there is nothing. And do we argue? Man, we fuss, we fight. You hear me what I'm telling you? And but as we got older, now we give our opinions, we listen to one another, we disagree with each other, but we pay attention, my siblings and we pay attention to what each other tell each other, because we know that number one, we're not going to do anything to destroy each other. We're not going to manipulate. We're not going to we don't have any ulterior motives with each other or any of that stuff. Where we get that from? My father and my mother. But my father, we don't play tricks with each other. We do none of that. And let me tell you, we ain't going to let nobody divide us. Nobody divide us. Carolyn, doing this here last week in the district meeting, man, she contacted people for my offer and my husband's offer, whether anybody did. And guess what? So many people gave from across this thing. So many people gave. She went in. Carolyn is our daughter. We didn't birth her. But God showed enough, placed her in our heart, in our spirit, as our daughter. You understand what I'm saying? And then God and my daddy, our dad wanted, the one thing he wanted was for her to graduate college. And she got it. She got an AA and she have her BA, and she did both of those, graduated magna cum laude. She graduated with honors, right? Because my dad pushed that, y'all. He pushed that. He said, if you're going to go to college, graduate with honors. If you're going to college, graduate with honors. If you're going to own your business, do it great. He taught us treat everybody right, starting with your siblings, right? He told us love. He taught us love. He told us to be the greatest person you're gonna be. Be the greatest. Do not half step on yourself. Do not teach anybody to hate anybody by action and everything. And he told us this: don't share when you're down and when you're feeling some kind of way, because people have ulterior motive in giving you certain answers. Everybody don't want to see you doing well where you are. That's what my dad told us. Everybody ain't celebrating you because you're happy right there. You'll have your home going good and you'll go share something with somebody else. They'll say stuff like, if I was you, I'd leave. No, they wouldn't. A lot of them don't have no good homes anyway. You understand? My dad has told us don't do that. And guess what? We do not. We may share with each other because we know that our siblings, we have each other back, right? My dad had told us to always go for the win. My dad had taught us that. And that's what I believe with fathers. You teach your children how to win. My father-in-law, my father-in-law would work and make things happen. This is what these men taught us. This is what these men taught us. Look at my husband and his siblings. Man, they are close. They work hard. They provide. They have fun. They're there. All right. People look at, and we get compliments all the time about how we take care of my mother. My father told my sister Tanya, make sure your mom is well taken care of. Well, and everything going on in my life, everything. Before my dad died in 2023, in 2020, December of 2022, I think it's Christmas time, my dad sat down with me for 2.5 hours and spoke everything that's going on with me right now. He even talked about people who you thought was your friend and thought was there. He even told us about all of that, right? He told us about all of that. All right. I like that hourglass. See the black sand in there? Yeah. But he told us about that. He taught me about that. He told me about everything that I'm accomplishing now. Everything. And man, I give God the honor. My dad was a good man. Sat at the dinner table. And he said this, prepare to take, but he took us every summer. Every summer we went on vacation. Every single summer we went on vacation. Yeah, we have been to Disneyland, Mexico, California, Arizona. And this was all our children, little children. Apalachicola. That's where we learned to walk to church, in Apalachicola, right? But my dad made sure, my mom made sure that we went on vacation. They wanted us to understand life. They taught us how to handle rejection. They taught us how to handle betrayal. They taught us. My dad taught us this. My dad taught us this because he said in life you're gonna have that. He want us crying because people leave. He want us crying over that. He want us to be strong and to handle things like that. Right? He taught us. I'm gonna tell you something. I wanted to play the drums and I couldn't play. Right? I had this desire. I think I was 11 at the time. And I wanted to be the church drummer. You know what my dad did? My mom? They brought me a drum set for Christmas. But I didn't know how to play it. So they bought me a paper drum set. Go figure. A paper drum set. Man, I went to bed early. And everything. So I could wake up Christmas and go play my drums. Well, I did that. I woke up Christmas and there was a paper drum set. I was hurt. I cried. Man, I tore that drum up the first day. But guess what? February the 13th, when I turned 12, I had I had a whole drum set. Didn't know how to play it. My dad took it to church for me. The pastor told me don't bring that drum no more because I couldn't play it. Man, I was hurt. And my dad brought the drum set to church every Sunday. But he said he was so glad when I learned how to play because I really did sound a mess. He told me I sound a mess. But that was after I started playing well. But he taught us that. What's some lesson your father taught you? Put it in the chat. What's some lesson your father taught you? Okay, what's some lessons? What's some lessons? And this show ain't this show is not to talk about the fathers who's not there and what the fathers ain't doing. This show is not about that. This show is to talk about the gift of a father. And sometimes there's so many reasons why fathers are not there. I'm not trying to make up any excuse. But when I tell you those men who sacrifice for their children, those men who sacrifice for their family, those men who are protectors and providers, those men who attend recitals and attend all this stuff. My dad came to our basketball game, our football game. He came to the debate team. My dad was there, band stuff and all that kind of stuff. They were there. My parents were there. They were there. They celebrated us. But guess what? When we were wrong, we were chastised. Yeah, we was disciplined. My dad didn't really beat us. I think I got one beating from my dad in my hand with a belt because I lied. And I had to own up to my lie. And that's another thing my dad taught us. He said, Judy, just own up to what you do. If you did it, you did it. Say, I'm sorry, I do better. Yes, that was me. He said, because my dad usually beat you because you lie. That was the reason my dad beat you. He beat you. My dad didn't like liars. My dad could not stand a liar. And so his thing was, tell me the truth. Always tell the truth, even if you have to be punished for it. Because sometimes we're so quick that I ain't do nothing. Perhaps you did. And so my dad said, let's talk. And my dad would talk to you and find out. Now my mama, this is not Mother's Day, this Father's Day. Anyway, there was some things he taught us. Okay. Another thing he taught us was education is everything. You want to achieve anything in life, you could. My dad instilled that into us. And every last one of us have a college education. Every last one of us. But he instilled that into us. He told us that life is about learning. That seeking the truth would teach us more about ourselves and the world than anything else we could imagine. That's what my dad taught us. He taught us to forever keep life as learning. Always make sure you're in a learning position. He said, seek the truth. But he said, my dad was always big on us learning us. Not putting the blame over here, over there, learning us. Looking within ourselves and being the true self that we could be. He taught us that independence comes with responsibility. And he allowed us to learn that. We had a lot of independence in growing up. We could, but no matter what we did now, we had to live with the choices. Everything is a choice. We make excuses about stuff, but it's still a choice. Pastor, my husband taught today, and when I tell you, boy, so many, we had judges, lawyers in there. We had representative, county, city commissioner, just so many prominent people in there, and they all were saying that they really appreciate how Pastor really taught about a discipline and making prayer a priority. All right, we make excuses about stuff, but we got to understand we have to just be true to us, right? And I want to take a pause for the cause right here. We don't have any biological children, but I think one of the greatest examples of fatherhood is my husband. And I hear that from so many people, even the people that we serve, even so many of the people who left. My husband is a good father. He teaches, he teach, he train, but he's an example to men everywhere. He's a good example. That's what fathers do. That's what fathers do. They're an example. Okay, this is from my perspective. They are good examples. They are good role models. Okay, and that's what pastor does. A lot of these things that my father taught me, my husband exemplifies those. He really does. All right. He taught me. My dad taught us that we can do anything we put our mind to. He said if we can manage to put our phone down long enough, we can accomplish anything we want to. Anything. He told us to watch the company we keep. My dad was big on that company stuff, man. He didn't want us just hanging with anybody. He wanted us to know their heart towards us. Yeah, he wanted us to know the people we were with heart towards us. And if they go against anything that he or my mom had taught us, if they go against the heart of what we have, he said, those people aren't for you. Those people aren't for you. Mm-hmm. Even when we got married, be careful how you tell your business. Be careful how you do this. My dad and mom married over 50 years. My husband, dad, and mom married, I think, about 70 years. We had longevity. Why? Because we paid attention to what they said. My dad wanted all his girls and my brother to succeed in marriage because he and my mom succeeded. They had a successful marriage. And my mom was in church all the time. My mom was always in church. And my dad pushed her to go. Yeah. But she never shared with him any problems that she had with church because she didn't want him to look at it any kind of way. And she said she wasn't leaving it. She wasn't going nowhere. All right. So you got to learn this stuff. There come a point that you just grow up and learn this stuff, right? He told us that laugh at your own joke. He said, even when nobody else laughing, laugh yourself. Right? He told me, he said, Judy, you can make a lot of money because you're funny. He said, you can make a lot of money. So if you wanted to go, he was even for me going to be a comedian. Yep. My dad was for that. My dad was for that. Isn't it amazing how sometimes that dad can support you? Man, and a lot of fathers, a lot of dads love their girls. They love their boys too. But man, those girls, they can get a whole lot from their dad. Yeah, they really can. They really can. Now, if this doesn't apply to you yet, I'm praying. And I'm going to say that I am really praying for fathers because it's a hard job. But I think that as fathers, what I saw from my father, even what I see from my husband, you have to be intentional about your children. You have to. They can't hear you cursing and being sloppy drunk and all. What do you think they're going to become? What do you think they're going to become? My dad was very careful of how he carried himself around his girls because he wanted us to have respect for ourselves. My dad treated us like queens. Before I know right now everybody calling the women queen, you know. But my dad taught us the principle of womanhood. He said, don't just have sex with everybody. Don't do that. Because more than likely they're not gonna marry you. My mom taught us that too. My dad said a man, if he having sex with you all the time, for the most part, 8 times out of 10, you won't be his wife. He already got what he wants. My dad told us we don't treat a boyfriend or an acquaintance like a husband. You don't have to wash his clothes, you have to cook for him, none of that stuff. You don't have to do none of that stuff. 8 times out of 10, he ain't gonna marry you. That's what my dad taught us. My dad taught us that. And all of his girls, none of us did that. My brother told us that too. Don't just let no man just do anything to you. No, hold yourself respectful. I don't know if y'all dad do this. If anybody came to the house to see you, they couldn't blow the horn. I think it was me. I had a boy to come one time. He had there blowing the horn. I'm sitting right there in the living room, saying to myself, "Man, you better come in here." My dad was sitting there too. He like, "Judy, I know that boy ain't out there blowing the horn for you. For you." I said, "No, Dad, not no." He said, "Oh, because you ain't going. Even if he come knock on the door, you're not going, because he should have had enough respect for you to come to the door from the very beginning." Eventually, he came knocking on the door, and my dad answered the door. So, "You was out there blowing the horn?" "Yes, sir." "She not going." And he just closed the door. That's all he said. "She not going." And he closed the door. The next day in school, man, I'm like, "You a crazy old boy." Right? My dad taught us that our words matter. He said we should always write and say what we mean. My dad taught us if there's an issue or a concern, speak about it. Speak about it. Don't hold that stuff in. And that's how they raised us too. They raised us to talk about concerns. They raised us that if we disagreed with them, it was okay. It was okay. But one of the things I learned, they ain't really changed anything, man. But guess what? They allowed us to voice our concerns. My dad was a listener. What's some of the things that you really like that your dad? My dad was a listener, man. My dad listened. My dad gave his own knowledge on stuff. We was having a big issue one time in our jurisdiction, and my dad said, "Judy, always respect that position." My dad had taught us to be polite and honorable. He taught us to be respectful to everybody. He taught us that. He taught us that. My dad, I'm so proud of my dad. He'll say, "Judy, now I'm not that good of a speller." He said, but don't just give your papers. Pay attention to how you spell. Pay attention to how you write. That's what he would tell us. Don't put don't give people dirty, balled up papers. My dad was big on that stuff, man. I'm for your dollar. It speak well of you. It talks about you, how you give people money. It talks about you. My dad taught us that. My dad taught us that. My dad taught us that. Mm-hmm. He said that people are very valuable. Respect everybody. Even if you disagree, it is okay. It is okay. That's why he said that my siblings and we were each other's best friends. He said, because you have to watch the heart of people. He said, they'll change on you. You don't even know it. They'll change on you. Mm-hmm. And he was right, man. The Bible said a whisperer will separate the chiefest of friends. That's what my dad taught us. That's what my dad taught us, man. And I would talk to my dad, and I talk to my mom, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times a day. I used to talk to my dad about 3 or 4 times a day. I was a daddy's girl. I was a daddy's girl and a mama girl. So I tell people I was a parent child. I mean, I love both my parents. Both of them had that influence, right? Right? He taught me how to give back to the people in my community. My dad, and so I get it honestly. All of us are the same way. We get it honestly. My dad was one of the greatest philanthropists I've seen. I remember we were coming from Apalachicola, headed back to Fort Lauderdale. It was dark. I think we had at that time a gray and black Impala. The car was full. My mom and dad, and could have been Tanya in the front. Me, Robin, and Cindy. In the back, I believe. I can't remember if Chico was with her. Man, my father saw a man walking on the side of the road. It must have been Highway 98 or 319. One of those, not 319, 98, or going into Apalachicola, coming from Apalachicola. He picked the man up. And when he stopped, we were trying to figure out where the man was going to sit. Why was he going to sit? The car is full. My dad had us to slide over. I'm thinking to myself, why is he putting this man in the car? The man could be a murderer or something, right? Not only did my dad take him all the way to Fort Lauderdale with us, this man stayed at our house. His name was Kim Dudu. He was from Africa. He stayed with us. And he's a medical doctor over in Africa. He went back to Africa. But he stayed with us until my dad, my mom, they helped him get his own apartment. He went to school, so forth and so on. And to this day, he still stay in contact with my mom. But he's a medical doctor over in Africa, a surgeon over in Africa. Okay, we've seen that. My dad got people. He said, Judy, when you can do for somebody, do it. When you can do for somebody, do it. When you can help somebody, help them. And help with the best that you have to give. Help them. That's where I get this from. My parents. And this ain't no joke. People saw it all the time. People saw it all the time. So I'm not just making it up trying to say something. No. This is God having truth. He taught us this. Again, going back to the family, he taught us that family is fundamental and love is our foundation. And love, y'all, is something good. Love is powerful. Love is powerful. And some people don't know how to do it. You can tell that some people don't really know how to love. Love is good. That's what my dad taught us. Even when he was upset with us, nothing ever caused my dad not to love us. Nothing ever caused my dad not to be there. Ever. Even when my dad was sick before he died, nothing ever stopped my dad from being there. Nothing. He was just always there, man. People say, you look just like your daddy. Now, I look like my mom for real. And I wanted a man who would love me like my dad loved my mom. Man, what an example. I wanted a man like that. He loved my mom. He didn't go to conventions and didn't go to church a whole lot, but he made sure my mom went. He made sure she had offering. He made sure we had offering. He made sure we had everything we needed before we went. Everything. He made sure we got our lesson. He made sure. And to this day, every last one of us are very respectful people. We're just, and we're kind. He taught us that kindness is the key. He taught us that it is important to be nice. He taught us that. And man, every last one of us can see the benefit of following his teaching. We can see, and my dad ain't play now. Let me get that right too now. My dad ain't play. My dad said, they hit you, hit them back. My dad ain't play. My dad did not play. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. My dad did not play. Be good to people, but if they don't want it, walk away. That's what my dad taught us. He said, don't you ever run behind anybody to get anything. He said, don't do that. Learn stuff for yourself. That's what my dad taught us. My dad taught us. He taught us that. He did. My dad taught us. He said, you can live without anybody in this world. That's what my dad taught us. That's what he taught us. Okay? He taught us how to handle money. He don't spend every dime you get, Judy. Don't spend every dime. Save some money. He taught us how to be resourceful. That Tanya, she probably already got Christmas gift. She I don't know if she got it better than all of us, but probably. And Carolyn too, man. They can make things happen. Robert, I mean, that's what he taught us this. My dad taught us to cook. My dad taught us to cook. He sure did. And Tanya cooked like my dad. Tanya cooked like my dad. That's what my dad taught us. What's come on, give me some more. What's some lesson you learned from your dad? What's some lesson you learned from your dad? No. And another, he told us, don't compare our house to anybody else's house. That's what he told us. You don't compare 3201 to anyone's house. 3201 belongs to the Wesleys. This is the Wesley's house. That's what he taught us. Yeah. And we never, ever, these are both of my parents, we never, ever heard them talk bad about anyone. Anyone. My dad didn't. Anyone. My dad say, you love them, you don't talk about them. Yeah. I definitely, even with my husband and I, we definitely ain't going to talk bad to nobody about anybody. No, we ain't going to talk bad about you. That's just ain't what we do. We ain't been taught to do that. Okay? That's not what he been taught. And he told us you ain't never too old to learn. That we should always be willing to try anything within reason. And he said, I love you mean more when you show it than when you say it. He said, love need to be felt, not just said. That's what he told us. My dad was cool. But my dad said, I love you to us. My dad told us girls we were beautiful. He told us how smart we were. He told us that. Why? We have to fall for every other man telling us. My daddy validated us. He sure did. My daddy validated us. My daddy clapped for us, man. My daddy clapped for us. And y'all know, even with my husband and I started this church, my mom and dad, when we first started the church, they flew here and surprised us. The furniture, excuse me, the furniture down in our foyer, my mom and dad bought the first furniture for that church. They sure did. They invested in Life Changers. They invested in us. They sure did. They invested. Those 2 white vans we have now, my mom gave those to us. Right? They invested in us. They believe in us. That's what a father does. And can I say this? It ain't always about having all the money. And people have to understand this. Your presence means more than money. That's why some of these young folks go off. They want your presence. They want your presence. They want you there. And that's one of the things my dad showed us. This is the gift of a father, y'all. This is the gift, a gift that never stopped giving. I heard that somewhere. My dad is a gift that never stopped giving. My dad always gave to us. And even now, though he's dead, y'all, sometimes I still talk to my dad. I don't go to graveyards. I don't visit graveyards. Because I give everybody my best right now. My dad been dead 11 years. And when my dad first died, yeah, that was hurtful, man. I'm like, what am I going to do? But you know what I did? I just started making things for him. I do things in honor of my dad, honor of my nephew, and honor of my grandmother, in honor of my baby. I just don't visit graveyard. Ain't nothing wrong with those. My sister Robin take care of all that stuff. But that's what I do. My dad gave us his all. And this is what I want to say to fathers. Give to your children, man. They appreciate you more, appreciate you in the stand cheering, appreciate you sitting in the car. My dad sat wherever he needed to sit with all of us. What's some of your fun memories you have with your dad? What's some of your fun memories? Man, even my father-in-law. My father-in-law, I went home to Live Oak with my dad, with my husband, and I wanted some candy. He went he went into town, got some candy, and we sat and watched football the whole time. And we talked and we laughed and we had a good time. We had a good time. Man, that's what the men at my church, the men at Life Changers, man, we have some remarkable fathers. We have some men who are like fathers. We have some men in there who don't have any children, but they will show up. And it ain't no gimmick. It ain't it's nothing what you call it, fake about it. They not trying to win no brownie point. They want to see these children make it. They want them to have a safe place. Where did they get that from? My husband. Love these children without abusing them or molesting them or anything. Love these children honestly. Show up for man. We have my husband and I have given so much to so many of these children. We have made sacrifice with these children. We have done that. Not doing it for no brownie point, but we have invested in so many children. So many. So many of them right now come back and say thank you. Thank you. If it wasn't for y'all, if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for us. And we know that, but we don't want any child to miss it at Life Changers. If your father ain't there, pastor there. Your mother ain't there, I'm there. These men and women at the church. Because we want you to we want our young girls and our young boys to grow up knowing, even if they have good fathers. We got some good fathers at Life Changers. I know some good fathers in Tallahassee. I know some good fathers everywhere. And as I said, it's not just because you got money, but I know fathers, listen to this gift, fathers. Your present, your calling, you're asking your child how they're doing. You're telling your child how you think about them. You're speaking worth and value into your child. Man, that's valuable. That means a whole lot. My dad is gonna be here. My dad is gonna be here. My dad is out there. And your present dad mean more than Nikes. Especially if that's you let them see the love from you. So as I prepare to close all of this, as I prepare to close all of this, my dad taught me no matter how badly or how often I fumbled, he always had my back. He always will have my back. And you know what I counted on and what I could depend on for sure? My father was always there. Always there. 11 years ago, I was 54. For 54 years, my dad was always there. And guess what? He's still here. Yes, he's dead. He's dead. You know, but my dad is still here. Just like I'm giving y'all these lessons I learned from my dad speak to me all the time. And this is what he taught me to. He said, Judy, people constantly evolve. And that woman that you want to be tomorrow can always be a better version of the woman you are today. My dad said, Judy, you will forever be growing. My dad said, Judy, you will ever be growing. Don't ever think that you have arrived. Don't ever think that you got all of the answers. That's what my dad taught me. He sure did. He taught all of that, all of us that. He said, you still got better and better, better and better, better and better to come. He said, there's a whole lot of good in you. He sure did. So I say to all of the fathers, happy Father's Day. I pray that this Sunday, that Sunday coming, will be a day of happiness for you. I pray that it will be a day of joy, a day of thanksgiving. That's what I pray. And I pray this, that if you have not been the best gift that you could be, and you know you can do better, which we all can, we all can do better. Every last one of us, including me, every last one of us, no matter what we're doing, it can be better. Because we're not giving our best. That's why we keep evolving. We learn how to do better. That's all. And that's what I say to you fathers. Just learn how to do even better. We need you. Your children want you. Family wants you. The community wants you. We want you. We need you, fathers. We really do. You're a gift to us. You are a gift to us. You are a gift to us. Be there for your children. Be there for your family. Be there for the community. And be there for you. You have some dreams that you want to make come true. Make them come true. Make them come true. We're celebrating you. We're excited about you. Well, that's it for today. And I pray that each one of you have a happy, happy Father's Day. I'm probably going to talk with some men because I love you all so much. I have so much confidence in you. Some of you probably messed up, maybe perhaps, and you figure, oh man, no, it ain't too late. It's not too late. It is not too late. I promise you. Call that girl, call that daughter. No, call your grandchildren. Call your friends. Anybody. So whatever type of father you are, biological, step in, godfather, grandfather, like a father, whatever you are, make it greater. All right, make it greater. I love you all so much. Happy Father's Day. Listen, join me tonight at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock for our Bible study. We have Elder Higgins who's going to be teaching, but Elder Antonio Witherspoon has been doing our PowerPoint for prayer. I tell you, he's an awesome man of God. Two awesome men of God right there. Elder Higgins reminded me today, as we were talking to these visitors who know him, that he's our eldest son. And so we want to thank you. So y'all come join us tonight at 7:30. We're looking forward to it. I know Priscilla and Kaden are doing their Alzheimer conference not this Saturday, June 22nd. I don't know why I think Saturday, June 22nd, but it's not. June 22nd. Take the information, y'all. Contact them. If you have not registered, go ahead and register. Registration is $15 per person, $125 for church and group up to 10 people. Lunch is included. And you also get free respiratory care will also be provided. So you can take the information down, call them 850-5397. That is Priscilla number. Call them, get the information, and come hear all about Alzheimer and dementia. I want to thank you again for tuning in to the Real Talk Live radio show. It's been my pleasure to serve you. Men, I celebrate you. You are a gift, and we don't want this world to be without you. We love you. I celebrate you. I love you. I'm praying for you. And yes, I see you in the future. And things look so much better than they do right now because you are a gift to this world. Happy Father's Day. I love you. It's Real Talk.
Real Talk with Judy. Real Talk with Judy on the radio.